Do your mirrored tablets look like this? Or like this? If so, you are in the right place. I'm ItFightsBack, and today I'm going to take you through my optimized process on creating mirrored tablets in the Lake of Kalandra to get the most rewards out of them. Now, I've made a lot of these lakes, and the process is fairly simple, but there is a lot of nuance to it, so I'm going to go through step by step as I make 2 or 3 lakes throughout this video. So first, let's start off with the basics. There are 5 basic tiles that you can place in the Lake of Kalandra on the mirrored tablet. They are Reflection of Flame, Reflection of Frost, Reflection of the Storm, Reflection of Brutality, and Reflection of Chaos. So these are the basic tiles for the different types that are going to give you rewards that are miscellaneous, weapons, armor, or jewelry. Now, if you're filling your tablets up with these, you're not getting as much rewards out of them as you could. However, there are tablets that contain rogue exiles or bosses based on the theme, called Reflection of Conflict or Reflection of Power, as well as Reflection of Tyranny, which contain multiple bosses of the given type. Now, these can give you rewards such as uniques, gems, divination cards, scarabs, maps, and currency. And the amount that you get scales as you increase the difficulty, which is the distance from the entrance of your lake. Now, there are a few other tiles, like this tile here, that contain shrines. There are a bunch of different league mechanics that you can put in these. Now, this one, difficulty, scales the duration of shrine buffs. It's not going to give you a tangible reward, but scaling it can give you an increased buff effect. Now, there are some of them, like this metamorph one here. Difficulty scales the chance for rewards to the metamorphs to be doubled. And this one is just a breach. So the notch tiles are the ones you're really looking for. The more notches, the better the tile is. There are also a couple unique tiles, like this one. Contains mirrored fish, but you can only catch mirrored fish with mirrored fishing rods. Or the Reflection of Kalandra. Difficulty scales the efficacy of the ethereal reflecting mist. This allows you to place a ring or amulet in the reflecting mist and mirror it. And there's also a Reflection of Paradise, which has monsters that don't drop items but give a ton of XP, that gives more XP the further down the chain you put it. So let's make a lake. In T16 maps, you are offered either a 4x5 tablet or a 5x5 tablet, and your goal is to create the longest chain possible, putting the rewards that you want the most of at the end. So normally when I'm looking at a 5x4 tablet like this, I do not want tiles in these 2 locations or these 2 locations, if possible. Now, this one, the way it's set up, having all 4 of these in here means we're probably not going to get like a completely optimized tablet like this one, where you can kind of go all the way around the edge, get to difficulty 12 and whatnot. So we're going to make the best that we can with it. So let's look at our options and our abilities that we have. So you are offered up to 3 rerolls, which will refresh the list, 3 skips, which will skip this choice and offer you new rewards, and 3 exiles. You unlock these by completing certain league mechanics at a certain distance that it tells you when you hover over these before you have them all unlocked. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to try and plan our path, and we want to exile 3 things that are among the base tiles, being the Flame, Frost, Storm, Brutality, or Chaos. Chaos is a little bit rarer, so ideally we don't remove that one. So here we have a Flame and we have a Storm. On the very first go, I'm going to exile Flame and I'm going to exile the Storm. So now we can no longer get Reflections of Flame or Storm in our choices, and now we have a swap entrance with an empty tile. So from the looks of things, I can move the entrance here onto this tile, and then I have to remove this tile in order to extend out the lake. to get rewards. But if I move it to this tile, all I have to do is remove this one to here. This is probably my favorite part of building these lakes, is trying to plan out and optimize how we get the best chain out. So if we remove this tile, put it here, then we have a chain all the way to this tile. That's really it. So you kind of have to look at it and think, what do I do with it? So there we go. We did that. Now we remove the tile to here. We know that if we remove this one to here, we have a decent chain. Now we can, if you get a destroy tablet early on and you're really trying to min-max, trying to get a 5x5, don't like the way your tablet looks, you can destroy it, go on to the next one. But we're not going to do that. We're going to remove Reflection of Frost. So now we've removed Flame, Storm, and Frost. And next, we're going to skip this. I don't want to use either of these. I don't want to put a Reflection of Chaos in there. So we're going to skip, and then we'll go to the next map. All right, in our next one, we have a swap a water tile with an empty tile. We got lucky right off the bat. And we can go ahead and move this tile to here. So we're going to do that. Sometimes the lake is not as nice. It's not going to give you all the swaps that you want. So we'll go ahead and do that. We move the tile, and look, we get another swap right here. So if we were to swap another tile, how do we make the most out of this? There's really no great options here. We have a singular chain except for this piece. We can move this tile up to here to make it a higher difficulty than it would be here. Or we can move this one to make it look cleaner. Or we could move like one of these over to here and try and plan to get the chain longer. In my experience, we don't always get swaps that we want. So I'm just going to move this one up here like this. Now, our next choice here, we have Brutality, we have Chaos. You're going to see these two a lot, seeing as how we exiled Flame, Storm, and Frost. But we got a Reflection of Power. So here, I'm going to start putting these along. I want to place them first on tiles I know I'm not going to move. If I get another move a tile, I could probably move this one over to here or something and try and open it up a little bit more. But I know for a fact I'm not going to move these outer edge tiles, so I'm going to put it here. Up next, here we go. We get another swap a tile. So we don't want to put a Brutality, we don't want to put a Chaos. So we also don't want to use one of our rerolls or skips if possible. We save those till the very last moment. So now I'm going to go ahead and swap this right here. So here we got Chaos and we got Brutality and we got a swap entrance. So if I'm really trying to maximize, because we only have one tile placed right now, the chances are we might see another swap entrance. So I'm going to move my entrance to here to save my skips and rerolls. And maybe we'll see one again. So here we have Reflection of Catalysts. The difficulty will be increased, or as the difficulty increases on the Metamorph one, it has an increased chance for extra rewards. You can put that in there if you want, but you're not getting a chest with rewards from this. So here I'm going to skip. Now I'm always going to skip first before I use the rerolls. The rerolls I use at the very end. They're basically the same, just one of them rerolls it, one of them forces you have to go to the next reward. All right, up next, we got a swap a water tile and change a water tile. Now this one is different. This one lets you change a water tile into a new tile. So here we're going to go ahead and place one there. Here we got a swap a tile. Now here I can't increase the chain at all, but I can swap this tile to there and save my reroll. Okay, now we have a Reflection of Harbingers or Reflection of Power. So now we're going to start placing more of these in. There's one, Reflection of Power. One up there. Now here is the last stalling technique. Swap a reflection with another reflection. So here, instead of re-rolling, because I didn't get one of the notched pieces that I'm looking for, I'm just going to swap two of my already placed tiles. And there we go. Now I save my reroll. Okay, here is a situation where I'm probably going to use one of my rerolls. So I got a Brutality, a Chaos, and Harbinger has two Harbinger bosses. Yes, you might be able to get rewards out of them, but you're in almost every case better off just speccing into Harbinger stuff on your Atlas passive tree and farming Harbingers in your maps. The Lake of Kalandra is better used to try and farm these reward chests. So here we're going to skip. So now I got 2 powers. I'll throw one in here. We can swap the entrance back to the start where we want it. Now it's starting to shape up. Okay, here we have swap. So we're going to swap them. Swap entrance. We're going to move it again. Okay, now we have change water tile into empty tile. So it looks like this tile right here would be further from the entrance than this tile. So we're going to change this one. We have a swap a tile. Now, actually, in this scenario, I'm going to move this tile here. So if I get another swap, I can move this one and then increase the value of all these rewards out here. Then we got a reflection of power. We'll put that there. Okay, and sure enough, we got a swap a water tile. So we're going to move this. We got to swap the entrance so we can move it back. We're losing one here, but it's another stalling. Swap a water tile. I could move this one to here technically, but we're at a difficulty 10. Like it's probably enough. It doesn't need to be perfect. We'll go ahead and start filling this in. Now what do we have? Reflection of power. Add in reflection of power. Starting to look really nice. Okay, here we don't have anything, but we got a swap. So we'll swap 2. Reflection of guilt. Now this one, if you're just looking at notches, this one is going to contain tormented spirits. And I don't want that, so we're going to do another swap. Okay, reflection of conflict. We'll throw that one in. Reflection of power. Reflection of tyranny. I'm going to go ahead and put this one on this tile because I'm probably not going to get a chance to move this tile. You want the tyrannies. I try to put the tyrannies on the ends if possible. All right, and then we got a reflection of power. Okay, here we've got a swap. We've got a destroy tablet. We don't need anything else. We don't want to swap this tile because it's the only empty one. So here's where we use the rerolls. That's why we save them for the end. And a reflection of tyranny to throw in here. And there we go. Now we have a lake that has notched tiles on every single square. That one turned out really nicely. Let's do one more. All right, here we've got a 5x5 mess. So on 5x5s, what I'm typically looking to do, I'm trying to get my entrance into a corner, and then you want to remove your tiles from these 4 places right here, these kind of dead zones. So if you want to put like a snaking long path through here, you can't have anything in these 4 locations. So to start things off, just like last time, we're going to exile flame. I'm going to move my entrance over to this corner. And then we've got a swap a water tile with an empty tile. So what I want to do here is I absolutely want to move these 4 tiles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this one here. All right, then we have swap a water tile with an empty tile. So you might be thinking, okay, if I move this tile up here, then I have a chain around. But what I'm thinking is I want to move this tile out and then move this tile eventually later and then have the chain go around. It really doesn't matter, but we also have Frost and Brutality. We're going to remove both of those before we swap. And it probably really doesn't matter, but in case I never get another swap, moving that one works better. But here we get another swap, so we're going to swap that one. And then, so here, since I'm removing these tiles on these 4 dead zones, now I can move this tile to here, this tile to here, and then I've got 3 more that I could add. So now next, I'm placing a tile. So I know for a fact that nothing on this outside edge is getting moved. Under no circumstance are any of those getting moved, so we can just put it in here. According to Grimrow, difficulty 5 is kind of where the rewards based on the difficulty start tapering off as you push higher. So he recommended putting them at least 5 from the start. So I'm going to throw it there, though I try to make the chain as long as possible no matter what. Okay, here we have Torment, Ambush, Chaos. This is where I use a skip, so I don't want any of these. Then we've got a Conflict. Here we have a swap entrance, but we got a conflict, so we're going to throw that in. Here we have Reflections of the Broken Circle. We've got Sulfite. Both of these are 2 notches. But honestly, if I want Expedition stuff, I'll do Expedition. If I want Sulfite, I'll do Sulfite maps. So here we're going to use our second skip. And we've got Swap a water tile with an empty tile. So we can move that one. Okay, we've got a Reflection of Power. Reflection of Power. Swap a water tile with an empty tile. So we'll move that one. So now we've gotten the 4 pieces emptied. So no matter how you snake this along in a 5x5, like you'll never have these tiles with anything in them. Okay, add in another Reflection of Power, Reflection of Conflict. Here is one that has Beyond. The Beyond one is pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe you throw this one in there for farming some Beyond currency, but then you can also do that on your Atlas Passive tree too. So here I use my last skip. Right, we've got a Reflection of Power, so I'm going to put this here. I'm going to save this last slot so that if I get the Reflection of Paradise or the one that lets you mirror a ring or amulet, I can put it there. Something I've messed up in the past, which is how you wind up with your Reflection of Kalandra on tier 3 because I was like working my way backwards. So if you leave yourself an open space at the end and you get that, then you have a spot for it. But here we've got Shrines, Chaos, and Storm, so we're going to use a reroll. We got a Legion. Don't really want a Legion either, so we'll use another reroll. Swap and Reflection of Conflict. So now we're going to start working towards the beginning. There we go. Reflection of Conflict, Reflection of Power, and Reflection of Power. And there we go. Another lake done. Goes all the way up to difficulty 13. Beautiful. And I think I'll go ahead and get one more started, but I think I've covered just about everything. All right. The next one here, another 5x5. And then we've got 4 dead tiles. We need to move the entrance probably down to this bottom left corners where at start. So here we've got Flame, Frost, Brutality, and I'm going to exile all 3 of them. And this gets us a free reset of that. So again, when I start putting these in, because I have a reflection here, I want to put them where I know the tile will not in any way, shape, or form be moved. I'm putting it there. Change a water tile into an empty tile. So we're going to put that there. Swap. I'm going to swap that. So now we've already got a chain set up. I need to move the entrance, but then it's just the same thing. I want to move this tile to here. I want to move this tile to there, this tile to here, and then I've got 2 more spots. That's how it goes, and then use the stalling techniques as they come along, and then all of your lakes will start looking as rewarding as these ones are. So I hope that this video was helpful. If it was, definitely hit the like button and subscribe. In my next video, I am going to be running 50 of these. Once I have 50 of them created to a rewarding level that I feel is worth including, like something like this, like why am I going to check the rewards on that? Because I know they're not going to be good. So I need to make 50 more or enough of these that they're going to be rewarding, and I'm going to gather as much information from these as I can, as in like this is a reflection of tyranny that's fizz based, like what does it give, and see if I can find any other correlations into what the rewards are. But for now, that's all I've got. So I'd like to thank you for watching. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe to make sure you don't miss more videos from me. If you'd like to help support my channel, please consider using the super thanks, the heart icon just below the video. And I will see you on the next one. Cheers.